All right, I'm gonna show you a little trick. Explain this for some of my particular followers here. Another thing I preach about taking advantage of every item you have. Uh, Notice you can go and do this, and then do this. See, this is why my gym would be different. If I can't install certain kind of bars, I would install custom bars, not just the same typical ballet bars. I have a blueprint for different things I would be using. I would rather use a place that has I-beams and everything else. Then, for argument's sake, you can even do this for the hell of it. But you have something wide or a wider doorway, use that too. But anyway, all right, you can push yourself, go like this, or do this. It said like, or do this. But and I noticed one thing too. If you even do this sitting down, one leg, I always have that problem with one leg being more flexible than the other. But okay, doing this actually helps. And then if you get your foot up here, say I got an advantage about the height of this. What I'm doing here, I pull with the heel, and I notice if you get this far flexible enough, this heel is actually right in your hip, and there's an advantage. You know why? Because you can actually kind of leverage your weight or what have you, or kind of like press your hip so that you can pull it with your hand too, but you can actually literally add pressure to your hip and then kind of stretch that out there and hold with both hands or one hand. I noticed that when you try to cross over with one hand, you're not just stretching this, you're doing other parts of your core too. So you do got to monitor your back in case you throw something out because different people got different flexibility. But now here's where it gets interesting. Oh, it's my right leg. I can do that so easy. See, now this, I can sort of get it, but there's a lot more tension in this leg, and how you twist it. I got to work with this all the time. Well, you can even, like I said, hold like this, but then don't lose your grip here and then your hand goes out under you and you end up smacking your face into this. Be almost like the TV show Ridiculousness, people doing shit like that on skateboards and always have like a backup hand here. But see, I notice right there I'm feeling a little bit more pressure around this leg. Then, maybe a little harder. But like I'm feeling it a little more for some reason. Because the one leg is always going to be flexible than the other. And I think some of us have more trouble that way than others. And people get discouraged. But if you feel anything grinding in the bones instead of stretching in the muscle, don't force yourself. Just, even if you have it for 2 seconds, get out of it and then back in again repeatedly as many times as necessary. Don't force it. Like I said, you can hold on like this. If you get this far and you're comfortable enough, flexible enough, you can, whether you grab your hand like this, you can press with your hip, literally, and you're actually stretching that foot too. Like I said, you can even have the foot there and be holding it while you're holding this. But if you feel anything grinding or pain in the knee, just come out of it and go back in again. Me, I have to do the right leg repeatedly because the next day the right leg is kind of stubborn. But then my left leg is stubborn in a different way doing the side splits. But because I like doing that particular thing, I have pictures of ballet dancers that can actually literally, without holding it up balanced, and they're actually with their hands in the air. But see, and again, you can even use the toe, put the toe against here, and again press. You can literally press with the hip. You can let the toe just sit there like that, and the heel, this part of the heel. That's why I like heels in boots. You can pull by that, grab it by that, or grab by the foot. But then eventually, like I said, I'm showing you this, using the foot and the heel. But then eventually, like I said, I do this in bare feet. While watching TV, you can literally bend the foot back. You got to be a little careful because you never did that before. You can get some serious cramps in your foot. But an item, or you can, so you can even hold like that over here. You can lean this way. Kind of lock it with your arm. You can put your foot maybe over here a little more and just hang. Then you can just hang this way. So that thing I was showing you, doing this, you can feel something stretching in there. You kind of need that and this. And I meant to tell you too, if you're doing this on the floor trying to do a front split, I keep forgetting to tell you, don't, when you hold, you're doing a front split and pulling it back, don't force your foot to go back like this. If it only goes this far, go like this even. Come back out and go like this. Because if you feel too much tension in your knee, maybe it's not rounding out. I have that trouble. I'll never do a perfect front split. Who knows if I'll ever do it. I'll do it better some days than others. But if you feel anything that ain't right bone grinding instead of muscle stretching in that hip or that knee, I think people eventually, they can do some damage where they're not showing up later. That's why I don't like to cheat and use any drugs that mask pain. I'm more like a doomsday prepper type of people. I don't believe in spending money on all that shit. Plus, anything that masks the pain cheating, you can be hurting something in the bone and you don't feel it. You're damaging something and you don't even know it. Take advantage of the natural warning signs, Let's see him going like this and just hang. See, on like a tennis shoe, you can use a boot and just eventually get to here, climb your fingers to here, and eventually, like you're grabbing somebody in a headlock, but grabbing yourself in a foot lock. Then if you want to use other shoes, barefoot, I think it kind of leads to it. I think, for my opinion, everybody else in their dance classes when they're kids, they're doing, I think, the barefoot, whatever you're into, and it's not wrong. And people say, oh, you should be pointing your toes, you're not using the proper attire, but this is a whole different culture. And for my opinion, like says, people in sports, cheerleaders are always wearing high boots. If you're failing at something, like, I think the boots can be advantageous because, like I said too, I worked around trucks. Truck drivers can do this, construction. I'm wearing boots, doing this in my spare time. So it's a different culture. But anyway, just hang. Lock it out. And you can literally just hang like this. If you got more room, see my knee is touching it. Well, if you want to touch your knee over here, go ahead and do it. Well, see, with everything I'm doing, I'm not just stretching the legs. See, it's like you're actually strengthening the arms and a grip in the same time. So that's how I'm doing things. You know what I mean? But like the goal is eventually, see, I can go like this with no hands. This is as far as I could get, and my feet. Or like do it backwards or something. But eventually there's some people that, like I said, they could stand like this without even holding it, and it gets you some good pictures. And yeah, you should be looking up certain still photos or anything else, you know what I mean, too. But yeah, the holding on to items is essential because choose things like this. You can't go to a regular place that has all that. take advantage of whatever's around. I mean, I don't give a damn if it's a place where, like I said, it's if a job you don't give a shit about anyway, you're trying to pick up a few bucks. Use an I-beam if you're worried about, you know, people giving you shit. Sneak and do it, that's all. But like I said, if it's a job you never liked anyway, you know what I mean, and it's shit, you know what I mean, if somebody sees you do that too, but I think that's about it. I think particular people that are following me and paying attention, but this is going on other media for particular people. I think I wanted to explain it to you. I think I did it fairly well. Guys, I'm going to try to do this in a different camera view here, and I haven't made up my mind if I want to put this into another video or not, or just make as a separate video, or splice it into the one I just made, or both. But let me give you an angle here. See any kind of junk I might be able to show here. From a camera, and show you with a camera angle here, because see how you can grab on things like that. But see where the foot's coming, and you can move the foot around. You can put that foot behind, lock the foot in there. Then my hand, there's a wall down here, so you could put your hand over here. Then see, I have his foot locked. I'm not going anywhere. There's a chance you could still fall on your face. But say you're grabbing over here. See, even if you don't force yourself to go too much forward, but so you can just by the idea of putting your other hand and moving your hand, the shoulder over, you're feeling. You're not just stretching the legs. You're stretching parts of your back too. But then you're doing stuff like this, and just hang. But then you're gonna have the foot here. You're pulling that out. Then you can put that other knee that you're not seeing in the camera against the wall a little bit, or hold the leg straight, but go like this. Or go like this outside. Then what we can do is put the foot up against this. Then you're not just, you grab this or this. You see the difference in that leg at where it's going. And you can put that foot that I'm not showing you in camera that I'm standing on away from the wall, or your toe can be totally against the wall. That's what I kind of wanted to explain too. But again, this right hip, sometimes it's a little stubborn. You're going to be feeling a little bit more. You've got to watch the knee and the hip. But then, yeah, the other leg, I got to move the camera over. You do the same damn thing with the other leg. So, like, then when I do the same thing with the other leg, you know, this leg is kind of coming up. You could go like this. You got to be looking for different kind of ways to. And when you apply the one hand, see what happens when you apply the other hand. The foot could be this way or this way, or then eventually when you're good and ready, this one foot can come up. Up to about there. And then you can graduate from grabbing here to grabbing here, and you're going to be feeling that shit pretty good. You can even try to move the foot up. Hold like this, hold like that. Or kind of like hang like this, because you want to get used to that, because you don't want to suddenly fly up backward. You got to be prepared for that. Get used to hanging different ways. Kind of recover, and then we go back up and do this again. Change of the hand. Oh, okay, I can cheat. There's a table over here. I can go like that and move the feet. Somebody put the table here too. Kind of put pressure over here with my hand. There we go. And this, just like that. You're going to be feeling that all up under the shoulder too. Oh, and it's going to hurt like hell here, but you're going to feel it all on this side. And just like when I tell you one leg may be more stubborn than the other, more tense than the other, one side here and here is more stubborn than the other. Because after all, I broke this arm once, so there might be a reason for that, that under here I could pull this arm back. Like over here, sometimes you feel a little tension. You got to do things like this to work with it. Do a lot of this. But I think that's about the basic idea. Show you the table. Sometimes, like I'll shoot, because a table isn't always there. But see that? A lot of times it's not. But people have little barbecuing parties, you know, in my building. So I don't mess with the tables or do anything. You know, I'll take a chair and move it, put it back where I found it. But I never told you in any other videos. If you can get a freaking table or a chair, get a chair and put your hand against it, you know, too, to what I just showed you, too. So that's another possibility. But all right. Plus, it's also cold out here. They say you're not really supposed to stretch in a cold, but some of us do it anyway. You do got to follow those rules, get yourself kind of psyched up, get everything warmed up. I don't care if you want to jump up and down, do jumping jacks, or run in place, or if you're in your itinerary, you know, you play sports and you run. There's different things about running too. Gets everything warmed up, but in a cold, you know, that cold air, you know what I mean? I mean, people can get heat exhaustion training, jogging, and when it's freaking 97 degrees outside. But then there's the thing about, even though it's just television, Sylvester Stallone in Rocky IV, he's running in boots, and the Russians with the chains on their wheels, the chaperones, the KGB following him. He's in coat and boots and doing that running. I imagine the cold's going to affect you. But anyway, in a cold, you're not really supposed to stretch in the cold, but when you do, you got to kind of get things, do whatever to get things flowing. I don't care if it's jumping up and down. I think that's about it. Oh, and this ain't totally, you know, technically correct by everybody's means, but like I said, I'm not a technically correct person. This is, you can be outside doing some kind of job assignment, out there in a heat, getting dirty, or outside in a cold, you know, dismantling something, throwing shit in the dumpster. So, and again, if you got to be out in the cold, you may be doing some work anyway, and you probably got yourself all motivated, and, you know, cold muscles, you can do damage. I saw some cheerleader on some YouTube one time. Yeah, you're not supposed to stretch cold muscles, you know, and that's kind of true. All right, that's about it.